Alright, here's an update on the progress of the rotisserie that I've been building for like about 4 days now of non-stop cutting and welding and recutting and rewelding and blah blah blah. This is the problem with trying to do design in your head. You make a lot of mistakes. But on the positive note, because I used material that I had laying around with the exception of 2 pieces, if you include those 2 pieces and the welding consumables, I probably burnt 3 pounds of wire, 4 pounds maybe, because I had to re-weld so many things. And I used about $30 of a $40 bottle of gas. And then so that's probably total. I got less than $100 in this, but I've got a shitload of aggravation. However, now that I've actually done it, I'm glad I've done it, because these things start at $1,000. If you can find them on sale, it's $1,000 to get one to your house. Really, you're looking at probably more like $1,400 to get a good one. This is a DIY, and it ain't pretty, but it's cheap. Let me show it to you. All right. The primary pieces of this excuse me, come from really I only needed 2 Harbor Freight engine stands, and primarily I used those for the forward leg, a couple of arms back here, and the engine pivot points. My expense items were 2 2,000-pound tongue jacks. One I got at Harbor Freight, which is a Hallmaster brand. See that? And the other one, because they only had one at Harbor Freight, I got from Walmart. This is a Reese brand. The difference is about $5. If you're going to do this, just buy 2 of the Reese brands. The difference isn't significant. Well, the difference is significant enough that I recommend you just buy a couple of Reese hitches. But the jack screw inside moves smoother. It seems like it's just a better, slightly better jack. And it's, like I say, it's $25 versus $20 if you use a coupon. It's $25 at Harbor Freight if you don't have a coupon. The main T-bar piece came from an old engine stand that I had laying around. This is one solid leg of the engine stand. Both of them are like this. I used one main leg, so these aren't 2 pieces welded together. This is one solid piece. Oh, hey, look. Got a little Anoli in here. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Want to be famous? Well, you come to the wrong YouTube channel. And then a couple of other pieces here. This is 3-inch square tube, and these had extendable legs on it. I'll put a picture of the old engine stand here so you can see it. And then basically I just scavenged all the other pieces to make all the other bits. Some key things worth noting is these Harbor Freight engine pivots, they're not bad, they're strong enough for the job, but this locking pin, if there's any tilt whatsoever, this thing wants to slide forward, and as you can see, there is a slight tilt here on this one. What that means is I can't use the locking pin because it wants to slide forward, so I've got the turning handle in place here that'll keep it from going forward. But I'm going to need to correct that. at some point so that I can use those locking pins. And the problem is that this leg going forward is at just a hair up, so when there's weight on it, it tilts forward a couple of degrees, and that's enough. When there's tension on this and it slides, it wants to slide out. So probably what I'll do is when I take tension off, I'll pull this back, and I'm going to weld a couple of collars on here to just hold that where it is. I thought about that, but I got ahead of myself. Too much of a hurry to get it working. And so this is a 4x3 square tube, and you can see I notched it to fit around that. So there's about 2 inches of tube on the back side that's welded all the way around. Another design faux pas is I put these locking bolts on the wrong side. So let me show you, now that I've got the center of gravity about right, this is real easy to turn. Too easy, in fact. It goes around, keep going, and oh, look, I stopped. Because my bolt is in the way. So I'll just find some much shorter bolts. Really what I need to do is move those to the other side, because once I move this collar back, these are going to be in the way again. So I'll find, there's already a couple holes over here, so I'll just find me a couple more. I'll find a couple more nut and bolts, and I'll move these over. But this, as you can see, easy to do with one hand. Still slightly, I think it's still slightly top heavy, or maybe heavy to one side. I need to make sure these guys are properly centered. But yeah, I mean, works. And although it's really just a tilt stand, a tilt rotisserie, a 270-degree tilt, it's still going to make things a bajillion times easier now that I can rotate this bad boy up. Let's move it up here. Come on, baby. Over to the bolt stop. And now these rocker panels are eye level, which is good because they need a lot of work. But also I can get to all this stuff in here. I can get to all the stuff underneath. And there's quite a few things that need attention down here. But it's going to be so much easier now. When I was in the middle of it, I got to say, I was thinking, why in the hell have I decided to do this in the middle of this big project? But now that I've got it all sorted, I'm glad I got it. So yeah, you can build one of these yourself. Also, the first mistake I made was putting these T-bars back. I had them, these were 18-inch hangers. That's way too much stress for this design. A much heavier design can take that. It's got a much bigger mast head. These little Harbor Freight mast heads can't take that much leverage. So I shortened these down to 8 inches. I can still get to everything up front here, but the one thing I can't do is I can't really open the tailgate. So the tailgate's going to be here for a while until I get all the other stuff sorted, which is fine. I got it. I wonder if this is, yeah. So the body's nice and rigid. It's not even twisting or anything. So there you go. DIY rotisserie for $100. Any questions? Let me know.